Welcome everyone to Tuesday's workout. My name's Kristin. I'm the owner of Absolute Pilates, and today, just a few things before we begin. We're going to just need a nice supportive mat for some of our mat exercises. So again, something like a beach towel, padded carpeting, something just to support your spine and your back before we begin. Also, a hand towel is helpful for people that might need a little bit of neck support. So you can put that behind you and just support the neck a little bit more if you're in a lying down position. And then the last thing that if you have at home, I'm just using 1 pound hand weights, but you could use some 2 cans, soup cans. You could use without weights too. So what we're going to do today is warm up a little bit with some upper body exercises. The main key thing about this is creating resistance on your own and not allowing just your arms to move too freely without feeling the muscles actually contract in these upper body exercises. So let's begin. We're going to start standing up. I'm just going to make sure I can everybody can view me. So that actually works really well. I'm just going to slide that mat away a little bit. Okay, so here we begin with, in Pilates, we call it our upper body arm weight series. Again, the reps are not as many. So again, pace yourself. You can do a little bit more. You can do a little bit less. I'm going to stick around like 5 repetitions. For these first exercises when we go. So we're going to start in Pilates stance, which is a little bit of that heels together, toes apart, but make sure, again, when you're planted with your feet, you want to feel really grounded through the 3 points of contact, which is like big toe, pinky toe, and your heel. So just feel really anchored into those feet. And then we're going to start with your arms just down by your side. But as you lift your arms up in front of you, make sure again that you're engaging those abdominal muscles. So we're going to raise those arms out in front of us, shoulder level, and then we're going to begin to curl the arms in. And again, resisting as you curl in. And as I push the weight out, I'm pretending I'm pushing against resistance again. And then again, I'm going to curl in. I'm going to engage my abdominal muscles, keep my posture, and then push out. And just keep breathing through these movements. Pull in and resist out. 2 more. Pull in, resist even deeper. Making that bicep contract and then pressing out, resisting out. And again, pull in and up through your abdominal muscles and pressing out. Okay, we're going to start with then the next exercise is a little bit farther out with the arms. And now you're going to again curl in and create that tension. And press out. And curl in, resist, press it away. Keep those elbows lifted, curl in. If you notice that your elbows are dropping down, maybe the weight's too heavy, press out. 2 more, curl in. And resist out. Last one, curl in and resist out. Arms come together, and then they're going to lower down just by your side. And then you're going to bend your elbows as far back behind you as you can. Try to pull your weights up as high as you can get them. And then we're going to extend out the arms behind you and then try to curl them in. So again, 5 of these. I'm not trying to move my elbow. I'm trying to keep my elbow anchored in one place and then try and extend the forearm and the hand farther back and away. You can feel your shoulder blades pinching closer together on these. But try not to shrug up into your shoulders. Keep a long neck. You got one more. Press it away and curl it in. And then you press your arms down by your side. This next position is, the setup is just as important here. So we're going to lift your heels up and then just move them out a little bit. So I'm just a little spaced apart with both legs. Then I'm going to bend my knees. Okay, notice my ankles again hinge and my knees hinge a little bit. And then from my hips, I'm going to hinge forward so that I get myself into what I call a tabletop position, or a nice flat back. Okay, so check again. Some of you will have to bend the knees a little farther, but again, your abdominal muscles are pulled in, and this is an exercise called boxing. So we got one arm reaching out in front of you and one arm pressing out behind you. So we're gonna just feel for a moment to hold those weights and lift them, and then bend again, the arms, elbows back in, and then push opposite arm and out and hold, and then bend. So again, I'm gonna press out. Holding this tabletop position is just as important as getting that strong arm, holding those arms out and reaching long, bending in. Neck is long from my top of my head down to my tailbone, and reach and bend. So now I'm going to rest my arms down. You're just going to relax your back and round, and then you're going to roll one vertebrae up as the heels close together. Abdominal muscles again help support you as you roll up to a standing position. And now we're going to do a side bend. So we're going to reach one arm up as high as we can, gluing it, keeping the arm and the head glued together as we now slide that left arm as far down as we can. And then we're going to pull back up, and you're going to change. So again, glued together, stretch, lift, and switch. Tall and reach. You pressing down with both feet equally, and up and change, and press, and reach up and change, and stretch. See if you can get a little farther each time, and change, up, stretch, lift. One more set. Up. Try to reach down as low as you can and come up. And last one. Again, glue the feet and anchor them and up. All right, we're going to go back to tabletop position again. So again, heels lift up. They come a little bit apart. We're going to bend at the knees and the ankle area. You're going to hinge at the hips again to get to that tabletop position. And we're into what we call the tricep extensions, which is elbows glue into the sides of your body. Like I'm in a bicep curl, and I'm going to push now both arms back. I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to curl them back in. So again, press them back and curl them in. And press them back. Hold neck long again, and curl them in. Two more, press back. Try to hug them into the sides of your body. Keep your shoulder blades long. Okay, those blades are pulling down and long, and my head's reaching out in the opposite direction. And come back in. So again, relax those arms. Let them rest. Heels together, toes apart again. Zip up by engaging your inner thighs, your lower abs. Roll up to a standing position. And now we're into what we call the zip up. This is both hands are gonna be glued together in front of you, and you're gonna pretend you're pulling up again with wide elbows pointing out to the sides, a spring that's like maybe attached to the floor. And now you're gonna, like a bike pump, right? Press it down. So again, the elbows widen and you pull up. Try not to, again, shrug through the shoulders. And you press on down. Pull up. And press down. You're pushing down that bike pump. And pull up. And press down. And the last one is as you go all the way up now, your arms are going to reach up to the ceiling here. So we're going to continue on up. And then now you are into what we call a shaving. Shaving, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So now I'm trying to pull and bend my elbows out to the sides. Pull my hands just as low as I can get them. The goal will be like the base of the neck, and then you push back up. Okay, so again, we're going to pull, resist down. And then as I push up the weight, I want to engage the abdominal muscles all the way up by reaching my arms up. So I'm working on the full body to get my arms to do the movement, not just thinking about my arms. Reaching all the way up from your hips, all the way through your torso, all the way up to the tip of your fingers. But it's all connected, so stay there. We're gonna now palms face up, and you're gonna slowly lower your arms down by your side. So palms up and come down, okay? I'm gonna go a little closer for your tabletop position again. So again, we're back to heels apart a little bit, bend at the knees, ankle area, hinge from the hip, get into that flat back, neck is long. And now we're into the bug. So it's like an open and a close. So we're gonna open like your eagle. So you're expanding your wingspan out as high and as far as you can, and then close. Now when I close, my abdominal muscles again pull in and up. So I'm opening, resisting again. Try to keep a fairly straight arm and close. So I'm gonna base you, we'll do 2 more here. Open. So you can see how high I'm going. And close. And again, lift. And close. And let's do 1 more. And lift. Long neck. Expand the arms. And close. Okay, so rest those arms again for a moment while your heels go together, your toes are apart. Roll up. So I won't tell you the name of the exercise yet so that you can kind of guess what you think this would be like. So we're going to keep holding on to like the end of the weight. Elbows are just slightly kind of tilted out a little bit to the sides. So start to just make small little circles. And now travel those circles up. The goal here would be try not to move the rest of your body. And then come down. Make small little circles. So again, small little circles up. The more vigorous you can feel like you're making them, the more that you have to keep your body nice and strong in the center. So these are called sparklers. So 4th of July, right? And come on down. All right, so that is our upper body arm weight series. Now we're gonna go into some mat exercises. For a little warm up here. I'm gonna adjust this camera just a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so come on down to your mat in any way that you can. Okay, and then you're going to start with feet in front, glued together with the legs. We're going to roll down to our mat. Just take your time to go one vertebrae at a time to get down to your mat. Okay, so the 100, right? So we're going to plant the feet first. I'll show you some different variations here with the legs. But again, the main event here is to warm up the body and put the powerhouse in more of the front and center of your focal point. So it's those ribs pulling down, those lower abs pulling in and up, getting the back to anchor. Okay, so the goal is 10 breaths, either with the head up. Again, when your head's up, just tip of the shoulder blades up a little bit off of the mat. But again, you can lower the head down at any point. Okay, it's an endurance challenge here. So right away, we're going to lift up upper body, and I'm going to begin pumping strong through my arms. I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale, nice long exhale. So in and out of the nose, breathing in, and exhale. Breathe in. So here's your different leg options. Legs bent, exhale. Legs up. They could be a little bent. Remember, you're pumping your arms and you're holding your legs and you're holding them from your powerhouse muscles. Ultimate challenge is to see how low those legs can go straight without letting the low back lift or arch, or those lower abs try to push away from your ab or push out. And bend your knees into your chest. So rolling up one vertebrae again. You can grab the backs of your legs. This is that first warm up here. So we're going to inhale first for our roll up. You're going to roll down first, pulling fully bent the spine. Go slow to work through every vertebrae. Is important to get down to your mat. Try to be even. Lift up the head on your inhale. And when you feel like it's challenging to curl up, take your exhale and then roll up. So let's do 2 more. Roll back. And then inhale, exhale. And we're going to just add some progressions. Sometimes straight legs helps. And then as you bring your arms overhead, pull your ribs down by your spine. Come up. And exhale over. Try to pull the abdominal muscles in and up as you reach not to your toes, but reaching up above. And stretch back to the ceiling. Lift the head up. Exhale, stretch. And roll on down. Into leg circles. So you're going to bend the right knee to the chest. Stretch up the leg to the ceiling. Give it another good stretch. And now we're going to just anchor your hands down by your side. And we're going to do 5 circles with the right leg. Slightly with your foot, it's turned out. So it's slightly to the big toe to the right. So we're going to cross to the left, down, around, up, 1. Cross around, up, 2. Cross around, up, 3. Cross around, up, 4. And cross around, up, 5. Reverse. Out, around, up, 1. Out, around, lift, hold. Out, around, lift, cross, hold. Out, around, lift, cross, hold. The bigger you make them, the more you have to feel like you have to anchor, bend that knee into the chest. We're going to lower that leg down and switch. So stretch it first. Go up, either bent leg or straight. See what feels best for your lower back. You want that to be a nice, strong anchor point. So again, we're going to cross for 5. Cross around, up 1. Crossing to the right, around, left, up like a clock. 12 o'clock. Come make that circle. Come up and stop at 12. And last one. Reverse. Out, around, cross, up. Try to let the leg feel looser in the hip and the thigh. Again, strong abdominal muscles to pull up the leg. And bend the knee into the chest. Lower the foot, roll up to a sitting position. Again, you can either balance on this exercise or choose to roll back and roll up for rolling like a ball. So lift the bottom up to your heels, grab onto either your ankles, shins, behind the legs. Knees are a little bit apart, so your head goes between the knees. Shoulders relax, your stomach again strong and in. So inhale, we're gonna roll back. Exhale, roll up to balance. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll up to balance. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Exhale. And exhale. And rest your feet on your mat. Take your hands by your hips. Lift your bottom up. So you have a lot of room behind you now still to roll back to your mat. So now you have your single leg stretch. So again, this is that ab series. As a reminder, we're going through 5 exercises. Again, head can lift up and down through that whole series. Okay, we're gonna bend the right knee in, right hand to ankle area, left hand to knee. You can most certainly grab behind the back of the leg. Just make sure that your shoulders, again, stay even across, and so do your elbows pointing out. Left leg out to a level again to keep that low back anchored. Lift up your head and your shoulders. Then we're going to begin switching. Switch, pull 1 and 1, and 2 and 2. I'm creating that tension through the arms. My abs are pulling down and in. Last one left. Tuck both knees in, arms and legs reach out. My abdominal muscles sink deeper, and then I circle around, exhale. So do ribs. So inhale, ribs pull down. Exhale, pull in. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale and pull. Inhale and stretch. Exhale and pull. Inhale and reach. Exhale and pull. Now both legs up, grab onto the right leg, lowered on the left leg. I'm pushing my leg into my hands and switch. And switch. Trying to keep a straight leg. See if you can go now a little quicker. And pull, and pull, and pull, and pull, and pull, and pull, and pull. Both hands behind the neck or down by your side, and you can lower, 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 exhale up. So they can also be like this too. Lower, 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 exhale up. Eyes on stomach. Lower, 2, 3, exhale up. Last one. Or legs a little bit. Crisscross. Hands behind the neck, right knee in, left leg out straight. And now lift up as high and forward as you can. And then switch. High and as forward as you can. And switch. And last one. And come in. Tuck knees into chest, roll up to sitting. Legs just outside of your mat or your towel. Arms are out in front of you for spine stretch forward. So take an inhale first. On your exhale, peel imaginary off a wall starting with your head, your upper back, middle back,
lower back, and then inhale, roll back up.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna press against resistance with my hands. Inhale up.
And reaching in front of me, not letting my arms drop. And then I'm gonna try to pull against resistance
to roll up again. So inhale again.
Exhale. If you're a little tight, bend the knees. And roll back up.
So the saw, arms out to the side, and you're going to inhale, twist, and one arm's going to go palm towards you,
and the other palm is going to, fingertip is going to reach towards your pinky toe, and then you're going to roll
up to tall. So you're going to twist. You're going to exhale. You want one arm to really reach back with the shoulder staying tucked down. Your head can turn, and then inhale up and center. So it's an inhale twist. It's a breathing exercise. It's an exhale to move forward. It's an inhale to come back up. So you empty out all of the air, and then you're going to lift back up into that center. So twist again, empty out all the air, keep bringing it out, and then inhale up. So try to improve that duration of your breathing. And up is a nice challenge on this one. Bring the legs together. Okay, so for onto the stomach today, we're going to review that exercise called the snake. And remember, we want to be able to get into some extension, some arching. Again, go where you can go safely on this exercise. But again, the legs are bent. I have one leg just in front of the other. And then I'm going to make sure that my left, so I'm on my left hip facing you, but I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to draw a line from my hip. That hand's going to go just a foot away from my hip. And then the other hand is going to reach on a diagonal a little bit more in front of me. So I'm a little twisted now in my torso to get that other arm to reach a little bit farther out. From here, I'm going to pike up, and then I'm going to move into that arch or that extension. So from here, I lift up with my feet. So I'm going to, or lift up from my knees now into my feet. So I'm going to pike up, okay, and then I'm going to push forward. I'm going to go as far as I can on my exhale. Okay, then I'm going to bring my chin to my chest. I'm going to pull everything back up. And I'm going to turn my knees towards you, and I'm going to sit on my hip again. Okay, so I'm going to do one more again. Pull up, all the way up, to like an upside down V. And we're going to press forward. That's our exhale. We're going to inhale, roll back up, and we're going to turn and sit. Okay, so we're going to change sides. So I'm sitting on my right hip. Legs are a little stacked but bent. I'm going to take my right hand past my hip, about a foot out where it's comfortable for my shoulder. This hand's going to slightly reach on a diagonal line from there, a little farther out. Okay, so again, I'm a little twisted in my torso already. It feels like a really good stretch. So from here now, I'm going to pike up. So press down with those legs. Pull abdominal muscles out. On your exhale, you're going to push forward. Again, remember, exercises, do what you can do. Pull up and then turn and sit on your hip. And you have one more. So this is another breath exercise. We're going to inhale up. And exhale forward. And now I'm going to bring chin to chest. I'm going to pull everything back up before I turn and sit. Okay, so now we're going to finish with one more rolling exercise for our mat exercises today. Legs go in front of you. Again, I'm going to open my knees a little bit apart, make sure that my hands now are going to go together. They're going to slide down. So I'm just behind the heel, and then my hands open up and they just slide right under to the sides of my ankles. So it's like I'm cupping the heel right with my hand. And then we're just going to roll first. So just like rolling like a ball, it's a roll back and see if you can roll up. Okay, so some of those add-ons. 1, 2, this is from your hips. And up. 1, 2, 3. This one's called the seal. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, you can try clapping with your feet over your head. So again, don't rest on your neck. 2, 3. Let's do one more of those. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you can rest your feet on your mat. So that's just another exercise just to practice for rolling. This might be more helpful if you have a hard time rolling like a ball, which the legs are a little bit closer together than apart. So you have a little bit more opportunity to open and stretch up the back and warm up that low back and that low spine a little bit more. So we have a guest instructor that has decided to come in today and go through some functional movement exercises, great for climbers, but also great for anyone who wants to just learn how to do movement better. He also teaches at Absolute Pilates 2 times a week and working on those functional movement classes with the studio. So it's a great add-on if you've never, if you've been a client at Absolute Pilates and then would like to try taking some functional movement classes. Those are great add-ons. So as the studio starts to reopen, we look forward to seeing you guys. And I'm going to welcome Ed Schuster. He's an occupational therapist, and he'll be going through exercises with me today. So I'm going to adjust my camera so you can all see a full view of Ed here as we come up. Is that good? Do you think?
Yeah, I can see.
Can you see?
Full profile, yes.
Full profile. That's what we're looking for.
We need to see the whole person.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to start off today, this is also these 3 movements. We're going to work in all the 3 planes that we can move in, front, back, which is your sagittal plane, side to side, which is your frontal plane, and twisting or your transverse planes. So the goal here, these are called cogs or cogging in all these different planes. The idea behind cogging is this is recognizing by looking at the biomechanics of the body how each joint moves. So when the pelvis tilts one way or the other way, the rib cage actually goes completely the opposite way. When the pelvis moves in one direction, the head actually moves in the same direction. And that's because of the S shape of your spine. And so the other reason why we would work on cogging is to get better alignment. So if you're the person who has the forward head or the anterior tilted pelvis, this will help you get aligned straight up and down. What's the importance of being aligned better is that we're trying to get a better tension and length relationship in our muscles on either side of our spine. That's when we usually feel the best. The least amount of tension means the least amount of pain and discomfort, and the more comfortable and efficient that we move. So let's start with the first one, which is your sagittal cog. Just come on over. So looking at we want to start off with moving your pelvis. So some of you are going to have a hard time with moving your pelvis. We want to just rock the pelvis front and back. So when you rock it forward, and then walking it forward, that's anterior tilting. When you come back, that's posterior tilting. So just get a feel for rocking it front and back. Try not to use your knees to do this, so the movement's at the pelvis. If you do it slow enough, even if you don't have a lot of movement, you'll notice that the rib cage moves opposite. So when she rocks her pelvis forward, you notice the rib cage actually moves the opposite way, which opens up the abdominal muscles and essentially loads them. When you posterior tilt it, I'm going to move the other way. Okay. Yep, that way. Good. You'll notice your rib cage drops down, and you'll notice your head follows suit by coming up. So anterior tilting again, that brings the head anterior tilted and brings the chest closer to the chin. So let's try to put all three of those together, which sometimes is a challenge. If it's too much to think about, then focus for right now just on your pelvis going back and forth. A great way to help figure this out is to do this against a wall. Okay? The goal is to get your head on straight. Okay? Rotating the pelvis forward, head dips down, chest comes up, rotating the pelvis back, chest drops down, chin goes up. Good. You're trying to get even on both sides of the spine. All right. Okay, so let's switch now to the frontal plane. So you're going to face that way. The frontal plane is side-to-side movement. This is also called a shift. When we walk, when we run, when you're climbing, you want to have the most mobility of the pelvis being able to move from side to side. Okay. The reason why we call it a shift is this when you're taking a leap of faith where your pelvis is going beyond your base of support, beyond your foot. Okay. So we want to go, how far can you go past one side of the foot, and how far can you go going the other way? Great. No matter how far you go, you always want to feel weight in the knuckles of the big toes, in the knuckle or the MTB joint of the little toe, and your heel. Those 3 points of contact you want to keep on the ground no matter how far you go. To help you go farther, we use our arm as a ballast. We go as far as we can in one direction, and we go in the other direction. Okay? To keep ourselves balanced, we always want to have our head, our eyes even with the horizon. So go ahead. So what we don't want to see is that. Do the best you can of getting your eyes even with your horizon and getting that pelvis out to the side. There you go. For some of you, this might feel like a gigantic movement. So just go with where you are and don't try to push past something that doesn't feel like it's comfortable to go past. It's okay to soften your knees so that we don't stress the knees. Okay, and that's called a shift. All right, and the last one we're going to do is working on improving our ability to rotate. In movement, our pelvis rotates the opposite of our trunk. The pelvis and the head are usually always in sync, and your trunk or your rib cage is always the opposite. So we're going to put ourselves in a position where, from the starting position where our pelvis is rotated. So this is the one where you're going to put one foot in front of the other. You're going to rotate one foot in, and you're going to rotate the other foot in. So it's going to look pretty awkward. Okay. And so what this does is this rotates the pelvis, in this case, to the right side, or it's rotating towards the front foot. Now we have the pelvis rotated that way. So now what we want to do is just put your hands here, and we want to rotate the rib cage as far as we can. I want you to come back to the starting position, bend this knee a little bit, so it keeps the pelvis rotated like that, and then now come that way. So the pelvis, so we're trying to get separation between the pelvis and the rib cage. Okay, and just repeat that. I would do a few with your head going with your body. Okay, and then do a few with your head staying home. Good. You should feel that all the way down. You might feel that in your calves, but it's working rotation in your total body. Good. And let's go the other way. So you're one foot in front of the other. You're going to turn them in so it looks like looks awkward, which is going to rotate your pelvis one direction. Now you want to rotate your trunk, your rib cage, towards that front leg. There you go. So you feel that, and just go as far as you can. Don't push through any pain. Just go as far as you can. Nice. This is a great warm-up before any activity, whether it's climbing, running, any activity. This helps improve your alignment and your mobility in your spine and that opposition that we need to have good strength between the pelvis, rib cage, head, and the rest of the body. Good. All right, thank you. Let's get the mat on. I think I'm going to demonstrate now some rocking activities you can do. All right, so these
I'm going to move this up a little bit.
You see? Okay, so we're going to get on all fours, right? I think this one just demonstrates.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to get on all fours. So much positions where you were knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. All we want to do is just, at the beginning, is just rock back and forth, okay? If you rock slowly, that'll relax your nervous system. If you increase the speed of your rocking, that'll facilitate your nervous system. And if you do a lot of that, you might be facilitated for up to 5 to 8 hours. Now, the goal here too is to keep your eyes on the horizon as best you can. So when you're rocking, you should always be looking at something in front of you. Unless that is bothersome to your neck, then you can drop your head down, but don't have your head like this. You want to have it up into extension. So we're going to rock as far as we can forward, and as far as we comfortably can or feel like going backwards, while keeping our eyes on the horizon. Okay, and that's for pelvic and spinal mobility, and it's actually good for shoulder strengthening. Now, let's change this up a little bit. So now we're going to rock back by straightening one of your legs and letting that go by. So one leg is straight and one leg is flexed. You're still looking at the horizon with your head, and you're rocking again forward and back with that long leg. Okay, now let's add some trunk mobility into it. So when you go one direction, try to look back and see your foot on one side, and try to look back and see your foot on the other side. Rock all the way back. Try to look at your foot on one side and your foot on the other side. Rocking back and forth to get mobility, coordination, and strength. Okay, let's switch sides. Get all fours again. Lift that leg up and go as far back as you comfortably can. Keep your eyes on the horizon, rocking back and forth. Add in trunk mobility by looking back at the foot, rock, and looking back at the foot. Come up all the way in the opposite direction, look back at the foot, and look back at the foot. Okay, so far so good? Now we'll add some adductor loading into it. So you're going to be in the same position, but now you're going to stick one leg out, okay, and hold it in a position to your side. You're trying to keep the knee straight, but you're not pushing into the knee. The key here is you're trying to feel or keep on the ground the base of your big toe, the base of your little toe, and your heel. We don't want the foot to come up like that. We want it to be stable there. And we're going to do the same thing now, is rock back and forth in this position as comfortably as you can. And it's mobilizing our pelvis and our hip. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. The other leg out. Again, 3 points of contact on the foot, and then rock back and forth. Okay, now you can progress this into these same exercises, which increases your strength and your core strength by going up into a stance and doing the same rocking movements that we just did. Okay, we have a few more minutes. And so I would like to end up by do some glute loading exercises. Everybody talks about how do we get our glutes stronger. There's a reason for that. That keeps us upright. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some glute clacks. And clacks are basically single leg squats where you just bend on the knee involved and touch in front of you, touch out to the side, and touch a little bit behind you. So we're going to keep it basic to that. So this leg is always bending. When you feel this, you want to feel weight in your base of your big toe, the base of your little toe, and your heel. What we're going to add to it, though, is trunk mobility. So we're going to do one round of extension, one round of lateral flexion, and one round of lateral flexion that way. So let's start off without using arms for the first time, and just touch as far best we can in front of us. Touch as far as we can out here. We shouldn't be shifting weight, all the weights on this leg, and then rotating over and touching there. Okay. Now we do the same exercise, but adding arm extension. So touching and arm extension. always looking forward. Okay, and now we're going to side bend to one side. And then we're going to side bend to the other side. Now we're going to switch sides. One without arms. Feeling that glute fire. Extension. So my pelvis is moving opposite of my trunk. Side bending. Side bending. Side bending. Side bending the other direction. There you go.
Well, thanks for joining us today, and we hope that when we reopen, we can see all your wonderful faces or some new faces at the studio. So have a happy Tuesday. We'll see you back at the studio on Thursday for my last live class, and fingers crossed, we'll see you at the studio soon. Take care.